Good evening. Welcome to Classics by Theodore. Today we will discuss the historical and social dynamics of Gothic literature in the 19th century. In comparing this literary genre with the pulp fiction of today, we see the degradation of society, if you will, a de-evolution. Take the collected works of Abraham Stoker, for example. Mr. Stoker, a rather educated man by today's standards, sought to delve into the murky depths of the human psyche, and in doing so, inadvertently began a process that would ultimately result in the proliferation of nuclear technology. Mr. Stoker, of course, was largely unaware of the implications behind his work and how they would affect future generations of scientists and lay people alike. To fully understand the nuclear Stoker connection, we must examine the psychological development of Professor Albert Einstein. This, of course, is somewhat of a tangent, but a tangent...
We now interrupt this program for this late-breaking news story.
Good evening. We apologize for this interruption, but we have this story just in. It has been reported that the older people get, the more they age. This study was just released by the U.S. government after 10 years of research and $2 million going to scientists who were paid to observe each other closely. Sure enough, according to the report, each scientist aged exactly 10 years. When interviewed, the overwhelming response on the street was, "Hasn't this impeachment trial gone on long enough?" We now return you to Classics by Theodore, already in progress.
You're on!
Welcome back. In your absence, I enlightened the stage crew on Professor Einstein. Now we will move on to postmodern interpretations of neoclassical Aristotelian influences on Mr. Stoker, caused by Professor Einstein's theories. Now this topic may appear to be elementary, but it must be addressed fully to understand Mr. Stoker himself, as a man and as a machine, metaphorically speaking.
We once again interrupt this program for a late-breaking news story.
Sorry for the interruption. We have this just in. This picture was taken today. If anybody has any information as to who the photographer is, please call in. We'd like to return the photograph. We now once again return you to Classics by Theodore.
Those bloody bastards. They're trying to consign my show into the television dustbin. No respect for the arts, I tell you. Oh, hi. Welcome back. We were speaking of Mr. Stoker's childhood and the religious influence on the same.
This is CBS Action News, now with anchorman Gil Johnson.
Thanks, Roy. This just in entertainment news. It seems the dual ownership of CBS has resulted in a conflict between its nightly newscast and the educational show Classics by Theodore. When asked for a comment, Mr. Theodore Jefferson replied,
Those lousy sons of bitches. I'm gonna... Bitches. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Regardless of the incessant interruptions by our questionable news team, I shall continue to endeavor to provide...
And now, Gil Johnson.
No, I'm not ready yet.
No matter what they attempt in the face of education and enlightenment. And furthermore, moreover...
No, really, this is really important. Gil Johnson with Action News. Gil?
We are live from Boston. We now return you to Classics by Theodore.
What Mr. Stoker's bishop did not realize was that no matter how devastating his theories were, and no matter how strong his course of action...
And now, Gil Johnson.
Good evening, everybody. This just in. We are glad to report that there will be no further interruptions of tonight's program, Classics by Theodore.
You bloody swine. Have you no respect for erudition?